Prevention and physiotherapy management of hemiplegic shoulder pain. Hemiplegic shoulder pain is among the four most common yet preventable medical complications that stroke survivors may experience. HSP can occur in second week after stroke and it is independent of age and gender. Despite the high incidence of HSP, the literature is full of conflicting reports about epidemiology, risk factors, and management. HSP prolongs rehabilitation of affected limb and hospital stay, thereby affecting ADL, decreases the QOL, and it has been implicated with withdrawal from participation in rehabilitation process. Therefore, prevention and management of HSP is obviously important to recovery well-being of strong survivors. HSP is a shoulder pain that is present at rest during passive or active movement on the hemiplegic side after stroke with no direct relation to trauma or injury. HSP is also known as hemiplegic shoulder pain syndrome, post-stroke shoulder pain in hemiplegia, shoulder pain after stroke, painful hemiplegic shoulder. Epidemiology, functional anatomy of the shoulder and changes following a stroke, an understanding of the normal functional anatomy of the shoulder and how it is affected by loss of motor control following stroke may inform the prevention and management of shoulder pain. The shoulder is formed by a complex system of articulations: glenohumeral joint, acromyoclavicular joint, sternoclavicular joint, rotation of the scapula on the thoracic wall. Immediately following stroke, there is an initial flaccid paralysis in over 90% of individuals, which is often replaced by a predictable pattern of spasticity. Alteration in the alignment of skeletal components of the shoulder complex can be described in both the flaccid and spastic stages of paralysis after stroke, and each has been implicated in the causation of HSP. The causes of HSP are uncertain, but it is associated with upper limb weakness, abnormal muscle tone, glenohumeral subluxation, limited shoulder external rotation ROM, sensory inattention, sensory impairment, complex regional pain syndrome, and prior shoulder pathology. Several clinical diagnoses have been proposed as cause of HSP, these including rotator cuff tendonitis, subacromial bursitis, bicipital tendonitis, adhesive capsulitis, brachial neuralgias, sympathetically mediated pain, and referred pain. Pathophysiology. Because of wide array of pathologies potentially underlying the development of HSP, the precise etiology is difficult to assess. It is possible to treat HSP effectively without first understanding the mechanism of the complication. Three specific types of possible pathological processes can cause HSP are soft tissue lesions, impaired motor control, specifically muscle tone changes, altered peripheral and central nervous system activity. Clinical presentation and findings. Common symptoms by patient with HSP include pain with or without movement of the hemiplegic shoulder, reduced mobility of the hemiplegic shoulder, tenderness around the hemiplegic shoulder, swelling edema. The physical examination of a patient with HSP is extensive because there is need to assess the involved musculoskeletal and neurological condition. It should include observation, palpation, musculoskeletal, and neurological examination. HSP outcome measures: faces pain scale, verbal rating scale, numeric rating scale, visual analog scale, physiotherapist graded, VAS, Ritchie articular index, shoulder Q, graded chronic pain disability score, shoulder lateral rotation RM to the point of pain. Prevention and management. Poor handling and positioning of the affected upper limb in stroke patients contribute toward shoulder pain. The mobility of the recovering stroke patient is dependent on the assistance of physiotherapists, nurses, doctors, family members, and patient's own efforts. The ideal management of HSP is to prevent it from happening in the first place. Various strategies have been employed in the prophylaxis of HSP. For effective prophylaxis, it must be begin immediately after stroke. Good handling technique of the hemiplegic upper extremity day and night is recommended to prevent HSP because it prevents trauma to soft tissues. It is recommended that support is provided both proximally and distally to the upper extremity. Positioning. Maintaining the upper limb in the correct position is fundamental to preventing and managing HSP. The recommended position for the affected upper limb is abduction, external rotation with the shoulder slightly flexed. Abduction, external rotation with the shoulder slightly flexed. Positioning hemiplegic shoulder continue. Positioning of the hemiplegic shoulder in different positions. Side lying on hemiplegic side, side lying on unaffected side, lying on back, sitting in bed, sitting up. Side lying in hemiplegic side, shoulder flexed, axial rotated, adducted. Non-affected side, flexed, supported, abducted. Slings and other devices. Use of sling is controversial because they hold the arm in a flexed position, inhibit shoulder movement. However, sling are considered to be the best device for supporting paratic limb. Functional shoulder sling. Strapping the hemiplegic shoulder. Strapping of the hemiplegic shoulder is used as a method for preventing or reducing shoulder subluxation and may provide a certain level of sensory stimulation. Physiotherapy management, electrophysical electrotherapy agents, electrical neuromuscular stimulation, cryotherapy, soft tissue manipulation, massage using analgesic lubricant, therapeutic exercise. Electric therapy, cryotherapy, soft tissue manipulation, therapeutic exercise. Drug treatment, analgesic, anti-inflammatory. HSP should be viewed as largely preventable complication of stroke, and it is the responsibility of all members rehabilitating and taking care of the patient to ensure they handle vulnerable upper limb with care during positioning, transferring, and assisting in ADL.